Concerning media viewers, what's going on? It's me, John D. Villarreal, the four-time national champion, joined by Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Woo! NBA fans all around the world, what's going on? OKC gets the super win. You may have seen my video, quick reaction on it. If you haven't seen that, check that one out. And also the NBA experts video where we did the report and the breakdown of the game and all that type of stuff. But now we're having a deeper discussion in this and analysis and spinning it forward as well. Talking with you fans as well out there. You can give us the comments below. Now, Paul, this was a very crucial game, and in my personal opinion, this first of all personal opinion, only knowledge, in fact, I guess personal for entertainment purpose, only please I feel like, you know, OKC has served notice to the entire NBA, and they stepped their game up. I expect that they're going to actually pose a significant challenge to the Spurs, even though the Spurs are so hot right now. I absolutely favor the Spurs, and I know the Spurs had the edge on them in the regular season, and I just don't even know how you deal with what the Spurs are putting on the floor right now with, you know, Duncan and Parker, Ginobili, all the rest. But look, when you're looking at OKC and the way they had the fans behind them tonight, and the way that you had Harden and Durant and Westbrook's crazy shot, dude, that flip shot was out of control, and then the kick out to that key three by Durant. You can't leave Durant alone out there on the perimeter, and he just blew you up with that three-point shot. I feel like you know, OKC is really stepping up to the next level here, and I think this was a huge win tonight.
I totally agree. This was a massive win. This was big. It was incredible. You give Oklahoma City all the credit in the world. They really came through and got it done in a way. Look, the thing that's got to be asked too now, and I was just watching Kobe in the post-game media availability. Somebody was saying to him something like, hey, you know, is this the passing of the torch? Is it a transition? He said, look, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not fading into the shadows. And that's true. But Kobe Bryant next year will be 34 years old at the start of the season, and he's going to be in his 17th NBA season. And so you have to start asking a question now, is this the end of the Lakers dynasty with Kobe as the front guy? I don't know. As far as Oklahoma City against the Spurs, that's going to be amazing. I favor the Spurs just because they've done well recently against the Thunder, and a lot of those games, certainly this year, they all came before the acquisitions of Steven Jackson and Boris Diaw. So I like Oklahoma City. But I don't think they're going to beat the Spurs in this series, although you can't really put anything past them. As you mentioned, all those fans outside of the arena today, that's pretty amazing. So who knows what's going to happen, but I think the Spurs will get it done. And again, we might be seeing the closing of the window for the Los Angeles Lakers right now.
That's a great question. You raised it. I mean, what does happen to Kobe Bryant? I mean, you're the NBA expert. What do you think? You know, Little Bus is going to do? What about that new coach in there? You know, what about the team chemistry with Bynum and Gasol? You know, and Kobe Bryant and that whole situation, and some of the things that we've seen in the press and just the body language stuff like that. I mean, you know, what happens to Kobe Bryant and what happens to the Lakers now?
Well, again, Kobe's a great champion. He's not going to just fade away into the shadows, as he just said right there. But at some point, your body just can't do it anymore. I mean, he's over 50,000 career minutes. I think he's already like top 13 all-time in total career minutes played, and at some point, he's not going to be able to do it any longer. Now, he had a great game tonight. He had some struggles, though, in this whole series. I think he shot under 40%, if I remember correctly, 3 times. It's tough, too, because his contract is big, which means that the Lakers are going to have less flexibility in terms of other players they can acquire. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for the Lakers to keep it moving. My own feeling is that I think that Pau Gasol has played his last game as a Laker. I'm not saying that's written in stone, but just the feeling seems to be that it's probably Pau Gasol's time to go. And we'll see. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens in this offseason going forward. But right now, the Spurs certainly look like the class of the NBA, although they're not a young team. But Oklahoma City is young, They already beat the Lakers. You would expect that Oklahoma City is only going to be better next year. So if the Lakers are going to compete in the West, they're going to have to really shake things up.
Wow, this is incredible. There's no question about it. So much more to talk about. What do you think, in your personal opinion, OKC fans should be feeling right now? And also, what do you think that the Lakers fans should be feeling right now in terms of their future?
I think that the OKC fans should be celebrating like crazy. It was a rematch of a series a couple years ago where the Thunder really gave the Lakers all they could handle, but they just weren't ready experience-wise to get over the hump. Well, they showed in this series they are clearly ready to get over the hump. And even if the Thunder lose to the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, which I'm not saying clearly isn't a done deal or anything, they should still feel good because the Spurs, their core is pretty old. So they're not going to be around that much longer. The Thunder are right there. I think that they're definitely one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the NBA. They're very young. They're well coached. Their core has been together for a couple of years now. They're only going to get better. So I think they should feel great. As far as the Lakers fans, look, the team came out and they played hard tonight. They gave you just about everything that they could give you. Kobe played well. Pau Gasol played hard. You got what you could get. Now, decisions have to be made about Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum. That's for sure. Also, we talked about this in another video recently. I don't think that the Lakers, the way that their team is constructed, is going to continue to work. They're more of the Twin Towers, pound the ball inside, do this type of thing. And the way that the NBA is going right now is more athletic guys, power forwards that can shoot the three, that can stretch the defense, and it's going away from the big, slow guys. So the Lakers need to retool, reformulate, I think. There's no reason why they can't rebuild or reconstruct on the fly. Kobe's still there, still doing his thing, but they're going to have to make good moves. Fortunately for them, they've got an excellent track record. Everybody or many of the players would like to go to LA, so there's that. But I think now the Lakers are going to have to contend with the Clippers in terms of being a destination for free agents and trades. Yeah,
and I think Shaq said, that's a great point, I'll get to that in a second. I think Shaq was even saying something to the effect, if I remember right, in my personal opinion, on Inside the NBA after the game, that something like, I'm trying to get this right, that the Lakers didn't really, in his opinion, in my opinion, buy into this 4-flat offense or setup and stuff like that. In other words, I think he was saying that the Lakers weren't buying into the new scheme, the new coaching system, and basically reverted to what they're used to, and they didn't have the personnel there anymore to really execute that. You're the NBA expert. Speak on what he's trying to say about that.
Yeah, basically what he's trying to say is he wasn't sure, Shaq, that is, he wasn't sure if the Lakers were buying into Coach Mike Brown and what Coach Mike Brown wanted to do, particularly on offense. Is that true? Well, I'll say this. There were rumblings earlier in this season that the players weren't thrilled with Mike Brown. I don't know the validity of that, but there were rumors and reports about that. Look, if you're going from Phil Jackson to Mike Brown, it's, that's a very difficult transition, even though Mike Brown has had a very good record as a coach. Phil Jackson's won 11 rings, I believe, and
the Zen Master.
You can't. Nobody else has won even close to that many, I don't think. So it's very difficult in the 1 year you're still trying to contend for a championship to go from 100 miles an hour to maybe 30 miles an hour. I think that's what Shaq was talking about. Every system, no matter who's running it or who's putting it in, takes time to adjust to, and the Lakers were dealing with a new system and new players. And so it was, that was probably a difficult thing for some of the players to want to adjust to.
Now, okay, give me your predictions of what we have left here. you're saying that you feel like OKC has a chance here in the Spurs series, but you feel like the Spurs have the edge on that. And you give a quick read on what you're seeing right now with the East and some of the games that happen tonight with Boston, and of course tomorrow's game with Miami.
Yeah, my prediction for Oklahoma City and the Spurs, I think the Spurs are going to win that series. If I had to guess, I'd say maybe 6, maybe 7 games. The Spurs have home court. I'm basing this on the recent matchups between the two. Excuse me. In the last 3 years, I believe the Spurs are like 8-2 against the Thunder, and that again does not even factor in the acquisitions of Steven Jackson and Boris Diaw. I think the Spurs they're completely tested in terms of their mentality. They have the best coach, probably, in my opinion, in the NBA right now, in Greg Popovich. They're running like a machine. They haven't lost in like a month and a half.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say Oklahoma City can't win this. They can. If Oklahoma City is hot, they get momentum, and they're hitting their jump shots, they can win. But the Spurs just look like they're playing in a different league right now than everybody else. So I favor the Spurs in that matchup. Boston and Philly. Boston's up 3-2. I thought Philly had a great chance tonight to steal that game. They didn't get it done. I definitely favor Boston in that series now, although it could go to 7 games, and if it goes to the 7th game, anything can happen.
1 game.
I thought Philly has showed resilience in this series.
Yep.
I'm impressed with that. In terms of Miami and Indiana, I like where Miami's at right now. They won Game 4, which they absolutely had to win. It's not going to be easy. Chris Bosh is still out. Indiana is deep, and they believe it, and they already know they can win in Miami. But I think Miami's going to win that series in 6 or 7 games. So I think we're probably going to get Miami and Boston in the Eastern Conference Final, and if that happens, I favor the Heat.
I love it. What do you fans out there think? You tell us what's going on. You speak on it. We want to hear your opinions. What's up with OKC? What's up with Kobe Bryant, the Lakers fan? Lakers Nation, how you feeling about this? OKC, do you feel like you can beat the Spurs? Spurs, how good do you feel about everything that's going on? Miami Heat fans, Indiana fans, Boston fans, Philly fans, all speak on it. Do you agree with us? Disagree with us? Where are you at on this? Give us the comments below. Please subscribe above. I'm John D. Villarreal, the 4-time national champion. That is Paul Villarreal, the NBA expert. We are Conservative New Media. Please rate this video up. Also, please post it to your social networking sites. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.